Hello, welcome to my channel, Astro Breeze. We are going to cover today, I'm going to take a look at some more of our supervillains, and this one is Klaus Schwab. And I've got his chart there, but I'm going to bring up a bigger one for you to see. And we'll hopefully be there in a second. All right. Here's Klaus in the center. I've got two charts here. We're going to look at the center wheel at the moment. This one is our natal chart, his natal chart, and then the outer one is the transits of today. Today's January 11th, 2022. We're going to look at this guy and just see a little bit what we can see about him. So we're going to look at his chart here in the middle, his natal chart. I don't have a good birth time. Whenever I don't have a birth time, I set it close to noon, either a minute before or after. So I kind of know when I look back over my charts that that's what it is. So we don't have a good birth time for him. And also that would lead us to the fact that he could have a different moon. We don't know his ascendant. We don't know his houses, of course. And then we really don't know the moon either. So halfway into the day, his moon is in Pisces. If we get over, if I do it again, I'll see if it could go into Aries by the end of the night, end of the day. By midnight, as it treks on, it'll be closer to Aries. Nonetheless, we'll ignore that for now and just look at everything else. So we have the Sun and Saturn conjunct. I see that in a chart. We have a big stellium here in Aries. Kind of the first thing that catches my attention. I always look for where the Sun is, of course, because that's the vital force. So Sun in Aries. And then we have right there next to Saturn. So that's definitely going to be a little bit of a serious person, somebody that's got some powerful ambition. We have that Aries pioneering, moving forward, great burst of energy, Sun meeting up with Saturn, which is controlled and disciplined, ambitious, powerfully motivated person, mature, somber demeanor, very serious, very reserved, very self-disciplined. And because it's next to Saturn here, they will carve out some kind of identity for themselves, being in Aries, that some kind of their identity. Now, interesting enough, we will look over and we see Venus in Aries and Mercury in Aries. So the mind is very aggressive. I would expect this person to be definitely mentally aggressive, verbally abusive, verbally sharp, poignant, aggressive. They mainly care about what they're saying, getting out their message, telling you what to do, not listening. And then Venus in Aries is not happy either. Venus this is kind of, I would think, rough, aggressive. With all of this Aries, I would think this person would be almost violent, aggressive. I think that they would be a cruel person, aggressive lover. If they could even be a lover, I think they would just have sex just to get themselves off. And I don't want to rag on that side, but it's just with Venus there, and it just impresses this aggressiveness, this almost, I'm going to take advantage of you kind of energy. All right, that being said, we're going to look over and we see another little group here in Taurus. We got the moon nodes there, so we're going to just ignore that at the moment, but we see two planets there conjunct in Taurus, Mars and Uranus. So I would think, both of them, Mars there and Uranus. So you got sudden, and then again, right next to all that Aries, I would think temper tantrums, anger. They're, maybe to a point of violence. So this would almost, reinforce a lot of that Aries energy in a negative way, not in a good way. So they could be lack of sensitivity, of course, maybe difficult with, dealing with future choices. Actions can be taken without thought. just impulsive actions or any consideration. Again, more of that aggressive, abusive nature. And it being in Taurus, there's one thing interesting here. We have 2 planets in mutual reception. So there's always a little bit of salt in the brew, but I don't know this person, never talked to this person. I just have seen different videos of him, and he just does not seem good. He seems actually look like one of the most evil villain type people I can imagine. Even looks like an evil villain. But nonetheless, we have 2 planets in mutual reception. They are in each other's signs. We have Venus over there in Aries. It would rather be in Taurus, which is over here by Mars. Mars is in Taurus, and it would rather be in Aries. So those planets are in each other's houses. What could that mean? Well, we could have a little bit of trying to be that energy. Venus they're again forced to be in each other's houses, so it's a difficult fit. And then they're also close to each other in degrees, so there's a kind of a pushing together of this, which makes, I think, it to come out in a nasty way, in a violent way, in an abusive way, not in a good way. Okay, a couple of other things here natally. What else do we have? Looking over here at Neptune at 19 degrees down in the bottom of the chart here in Virgo. He's in that older generation, around, where was he born, in 38, right in the wartime of that difficult time there. But what I'm seeing here, if the moon is in, this is interesting though, just at that time, if the moon is in Pisces, it's going to oppose Neptune. Even if it goes over a little bit more toward Aries, it's still, but the moon is a pretty big orb, it's still going to oppose Neptune. It could get to conjunct Saturn as well, but if it opposes Neptune, now we've got some big misunderstandings between like him and other people. He just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand people. He doesn't have sympathy there. And he just wants to push his own agenda, back to all that Aries stuff. So there's also, because of the moon and Neptune would be opposing, there's a lot of deception. So it could be, it's in orb, definitely. Even earlier in the day, it's still going to be in Pisces. And again, later it may trek on closer to Aries, but it's going to still be close to that, opposing that 19 degrees. Because of the orb of sun and moon, we allow more. So he'll still have that deceptive quality to him. All right. Interesting also, this guy, when we add up and tally up all his planets, he has 5 planets in cardinal signs. And if his moon, the moon again could be, he has 5 cardinal sign planets, 3 fixed and 1 mutable. If the moon is in Pisces, he would have 2 mutable. If its moon is in Aries, he'll have 6 cardinal. Nonetheless, it still doesn't sway the balance of him being a heavy cardinal sign person. Again, it reinforces that Aries energy in a negative way. You've got so much, it's too much. And it's going to be very aggressive, and to the effect of being abusive, to be controlling, to be violent, to be non-caring. And then if we look at a lineup of elements, we got, again, more of the same. He's got 4 fire signs, 3 earth, 2 air, 1 water. If the moon is in Pisces, he'd have 2 water. If the moon is in Aries, he'd have 5 fire. Still doesn't matter. It's going to be heavy Aries, more aggressiveness. So we see the theme of the planets. I mean, one theme, we can go deeply into a natal chart, but I wanted to give you just an overview of what I'm seeing when I look at this for the first time, getting a taste of this personality. And it's like a taste I don't like. It's nasty, bitter, acrid, and something that I'm immediately repelled by and would want to get away from. This is not a good energy. All right, that being said, let's look at some of these transits. He's getting up there in age. This guy should not be trying to run the world, saying people should eat bugs and imposing this new economic, God, I can't even think of the name of it anymore, the Great Global Reset. He made the book on the Global Reset. Not a good thing. So here we go. Let's look at some of his transits right now. So we've got, where should we even start with this? All right, well, let's go with the things here opposing, or I mean, squaring his sun. I always like to look at that kind of stuff. Right now, you know, we have the planets, we're in the winter time, so we have the sun naturally in Capricorn, but those go quickly, and those are more daily aspects. And then we also have Venus there too. But interesting, Venus is coming on to square his Venus. The sun, you know, squared that about 2 weeks ago, but Venus is coming to square his Venus. And I always look at that as not a good thing for men. I mean, women too, but he is just definitely devoid of any warmth in relationship and being warm. And this is going to further add insult to injury for him. And then Pluto is also in that late degree, 26 degree, those nasty degrees, the late ones. So of 26 degrees of Capricorn, and it is just about to square his Mercury at 27 Aries. So what could that mean? So we've got, you know, the mind, and then reformation. So he's going to have to change his mind about things. He is going to have some depth recall. He's going to have to investigate things deeply. And the square here is not a nice energy. So I'm looking at he may start to come down. He's getting to be very unpopular. People are seeing that this guy is an evil man. So that's coming in real hard. You know, we've got both of those, Venus on his Venus square and Pluto square Mercury with him. Not really happy. So that's a good thing. What else is coming around here? Let's go over to, well, we've got the fixed sign thing going on. We've got this, we had the big fixed square with Saturn in Aquarius and transiting up here at the top, Uranus in Taurus. And he's getting to be close to his Uranus return. He's a pretty old guy. He's just about a year away from his Uranus return. Look, it's at 10 degrees Taurus and it returns at 11. This should be a venerable thing, but for him, I think it's going to bring some demise. That's definitely going to trigger this Mars thing here because he's got Mars right next to it. So it's already starting to ding on that. So this could bring some violent ending to him. I'm just seeing that what the potential is and how things click into place. So the reason I say that, because transiting Uranus is, you know, he's getting his Uranus return, but because Uranus and Mars are connected at birth and Uranus is sudden and Mars is violent, he could succumb to some kind of violent end or some kind of violent realization, some kind of sudden, I don't want to say insight because there's nothing, I mean, we could have insight, but I doubt it with this type of configuration. It's too late. What else was I seeing with that? All right, so that's clicking along. And then we've got the square here coming up from Saturn just squared his Mars. And then because it was at 13 degrees and then his Mars is at 12, you know, the square from Saturn to Mars. And then we're going to have in a few days Mercury squaring both of them, actually. As I should have said, the Saturn squared, you know, because they're conjunct, it squared his Uranus, then it's squared his Mars. So he may not be in good health or some good standings at the moment. And then we have Mercury about, you know, it's just about to go over that as well. Mercury's at 9 degrees and it's moving fast. The next few days, it's also going to go over his Uranus and Mars. So this is all kind of being stirred up right now. And then he's got his south node over there. So as those things gain strength and move on, they will square his south node right here in 29 Taurus, which is an N degree. I mean, the south node is where you have to reclaim karma. You have to give back things. That's where things are taken from you. So having a square there, and the current nodes are just clicking into that area as well. So they're actually opposite of where they are at his birth. So his north node is conjuncting his south, and south is on the north. So that's also ringing up for him. Whenever we have node on node or anything dinging on those, resonating those degrees, it's going to stir things up. So all of this right here with him is being stirred up right now. This makes me think, when I study this, I also looked at Fauci, and he's got a lot of things about to happen in the end of January, but more specifically in February, March, and April. We'll see a lot of things with him and Bill Gates as well. So it makes me think that there may be some kind of thing happening, because these people are evil. There's a lot of evil agendas behind them, and they're all different ages. So it's not a thing of something being in the same area, an outer planet. This is all kind of coming down the pipe. And I'm kind of looking at these people and their transits as a foreshadowing of things to come. So that being said, we'll have to look at the other evil villains that we look at here. But getting back to him, other big things. So we've got the squares to him here. We've got the squares to his stuff in Aries and the squares to his stuff in Taurus. Also, right here, we've got a Pluto opposition Pluto. Oh gosh, look at that. His Pluto clicks forward, which is like it's right now. Almost all of the stuff is being active with this guy. Pluto's getting ever closer to opposing his natal Pluto. That is not good. I mean, it's good for him. It's good for us, for him, because people have to, the more evil they are, they have to take responsibility for their actions, and they have to see where they've gone astray, where they've went the left-handed way, where they haven't gone the straight path on their journey. So anyway, this is definitely a bit about transformation, death, rebirth, big struggle. It's like things that he's been striving for, he might see is opposing him, all his work going in the wrong direction, to control people, to do it his way. We must do this my way. The total evil villain. I must make these people eat bugs. We have global reset. We do money my way. This is so aggressive, but live by the sword, die by the sword. So we've got, I think as the sun and Venus then move over that degree, that will just kind of warm it up, so that when Pluto actually catches up over that, see, we're going to have the sun in about, within a week, it will hit his natal, it'll oppose his natal Pluto, and then Venus will oppose his natal Pluto. Bing, bing, bong, as Pluto is already opening up that can of worms. So I'm not seeing a very good future. It's like coming up right now, the next few months for this guy. What else do we got going on? Let's see. We go down here. Mars is going to be transiting over that, and actually it's going to go over as Pluto. I mean, as in the next few weeks, we've got Venus retrograde, but as she turns forward and does her trek over Pluto, Mars will also join her as she treks over Pluto at this degree. So Venus and Mars are going to trek over Pluto, conjunct over it. I mean, trek over it, conjunct over it at 26, kind of, in whatever minutes, but it's close enough. It's in orb, and they are going to oppose. Both of them are going to go over there and oppose his Pluto. Not good, not good. And again, here's the nodes. Look at his node is opposite. They're the current nodes are opposing his natal nodes. As it gets closer there, it's already just opposed it. They'll go dinging on them for a while. So this guy looks like he's going to have some comeuppance. Let's stay tuned and see. There's probably a lot more, but I'm going to stop here and call it a day with this guy. Look forward to more analyzing people, looking at their charts, looking at their natal givens, seeing transits, seeing progressed. I'm not going to go into his progressed now. I might do a part 2, but I think this one's pretty obvious and gives us a good look at a natal sampling of what we got going on here, and then what we've got going on currently in the sky. Let me just do a quick looky, see if there's anything else that I saw that might be kind of interesting. There's a Neptune We could mention the Neptune at 20 degrees. If his moon is in Pisces, it would have already hit that, or it will hit that, which is going to add confusion to his emotions. And he's getting up there in age, so he could be rightfully confused half the time. Half the time, how would I say it? I don't think his faculties are all there anymore. And I think he's getting into these old tapes of old rhetoric, and it's just, he's getting more confused and more muddled as time goes on. Let's see, anything else with that? It's not in good conversation with his Venus. You know, it's semi-sextile. With his own, look, it's coming, it just passed the opposition with his own Neptune. More confusion. He was at 19. Let's see. Yep. It just passed over there. So there's more confusion to what he's saying, and he's getting more confused by the day. So look forward to something interesting with this guy. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. And I'll give you the Klaus Schwab.